Hello. In our last video, we ended with the thought that in my design specifications, I'm never going to create an animal object. Now you can see here in this program I've done that, but if someone's playing, let's say this is some code that is a structure for a game, a user can either be a lion or a sheep. They're never going to be just an animal. So I'm never going to actually create an animal object. So that means that this line can be removed. Now we have a bit of a trust me moment, and a trust me moment in saying that if we look at line 16, we create a lion called lion 1. If you look at line 19, we create a lion object, but we actually have an animal. We have an animal type, and there's a reason for this. But we're not quite ready to dive into that. So what we're going to do in this video is make some structural changes to our hierarchy based on the fact that we'll never actually create an animal object. And what those changes are going to be is that we're going to make animal what's called an abstract class. So we're going to take animal and make some code changes. The key thing to remember with an abstract class is that you can never create an instance of an abstract class. So let's just put a little here, abstract classes. There are two big points you want to remember. One is you will never create an instance. The second thing is that if there is one abstract method, then the class must be abstract. So let me show you what I mean. So for the moment, I'm going to leave this line here, and please take note that if I build this file right now, it builds without a problem. So we want to make animal abstract. So to do that, I simply go into the animal class, and I go up here and I say public abstract class animal. If I build this, let's see if it builds right now. It builds. Notice there's no abstract class there's no abstract methods in here yet, but it still builds. But now if I go into my animal runner and I build this, I'm now going to get an error. And what it's saying is that, listen, you can't create an animal object. That's what I'm trying to do right here. So this line now has to go because I can no longer create an animal object. But what you will notice is that I can create an animal reference. So now if we build this, success. So what we want to do now is well, I guess, sorry, let's go back a second. Notice there's been no actual structural change to this code. There's no abstract methods in this right now, but it still can be declared abstract. Good point to kind of internalize. What we want to look for now is we want to look for a method that has no code in it, but is overridden in all the subclasses. So in this case, both being lion and sheep. And we know that is the protect method. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut this code for a second. I'm going to bring it up here. I'm going to go just below the constructor. I'm going to say abstract methods. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste the class header, and I'm going to make this what's called an abstract class. An abstract class has no actual code in the body of it. It's simply the header of the method, and this tells the compiler that any subclass of animal has a protect method in it. So now if I build this, it builds okay. We can drag in this and we see it builds okay perfectly. And if I go into my animal runner and I build this, it builds okay, and I run this and it runs perfectly. So again, with abstract classes, you have to be able to say you'll never create an instance of the abstract class. If there's one abstract method in the method, and let's say if there's one abstract method in the class, then the class must be abstract. And it's good to know that an abstract class does not have to have abstract methods. It will 99.9% of the time, but it doesn't necessarily have to have them. And that's all we have to do to make animal abstract. So to make a class abstract, you need to put the abstract modifier word up in the class, and any methods that are completely unique and are common in all the subclasses, you have to include the header. And I would recommend, as good coding practice, to put that header just below the constructors. You could have as many abstract methods as you want. If you have one abstract method, then the entire class becomes abstract.